India has long been known for its rich spiritual heritage. Many ancient scriptures have originated there. The sage Veda Vyasa divided these scriptures into three main groups: 4 Vedas, 108 Upanishads, and 18 Puranas. The largest Purana is the Skanda Purana, which expounds the teachings and worship of Shiva. The author is Kartikeyan, the son of Shiva. The name Skanda refers to Kartikeyan as the chief of the army of Devas. A major portion of the Skanda Purana describes holy places of pilgrimage. The holiest place described is a secret cave in India called Patal Bhuvaneshwar. According to the Skanda Purana, this cave is the abode of Shiva. All of the gods go there regularly to worship him, primarily by doing pujas to Shiva lingams. A Shiva lingam is an egg-shaped object which represents God as the formless creation which has no beginning or end. This Purana also states that the many Shiva lingams throughout India are all present in Patal Bhuvaneshwar. By remembering, by visiting, and especially by doing pujas in the Patal Bhuvaneshwar, one gains tremendous spiritual benefits. For example, according to Vyasa, by visiting Patal Bhuvaneshwar, the pilgrim attains the fruits that are 10 million times that of going to Benares, or 1,000 times that of going to Kedarnath. The Skanda Purana describes the location of this cave as being between the two rivers Ramganga and Saryu. The Skanda Purana also names the hill where the cave is located. It is called Darugiri. Today, under the guidance and encouragement of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, knowledge of Patal Bhuvaneshwar is being revived. Through direct conversations, visions, dreams, and materializations of vibhuti, Sai Baba is directing a number of devotees to participate in this rediscovery. Dr. Gopal Karnavar is the author of Bhagavan Satya Sai and Patal Bhuvaneshwar, published in November 1994. In his book, Dr. Karnavar translated the sections of the Skanda Purana which pertain to Patal Bhuvaneshwar.
In 1991, I had been to the Himalayas and stayed in Swami's ashram for a couple of days. And there I met the person in charge of the ashram, and he talked to me about the cave complex called Patal Bhuvaneshwar. And he has mentioned that this is given in Skanda Puran. So I was interested in Puranic literature, so I asked him for a copy of that particular chapter. Then I translated that chapter into Malayalam. Then I thought I would make a small book out of it. So I wrote a small book in Malayalam, and in 1994, when I was called to Haridwar to attend a ceremony of the Shirdi Baba's lifestyle statue installation, I took a few copies of this book, and the gentleman whom I met in Rishikesh was also there. And surprisingly, we saw the book on which my name was written, was covered with vibhuti. Then on the page, Valkal was written, also a lot of vibhuti, indirectly telling that the Swami has blessed the book. In Skanda Puran, it's mentioned that the rediscovery of this cave complex would be done by a person known as Valkal. And Valkal means one who wears an attire made of bark of the tree, or it could be a soldier. So this has come true in 1989, when one army major general went into the cave and brought it to the notice of the people. As I have come across Patal Bhuvaneshwar and related subjects, I feel very much that Major General Taylor, who has rediscovered this complex, is the Valkal.
Major General K.A. Taylor was a career military officer in the Indian Army for 35 years. Even as an officer in the Army, General Taylor pursued spiritual practices. In 1975, a miracle occurred which caused him to become a devotee of Sathya Sai Baba.
I was serving at an altitude of 12,000 feet above mean sea level. One of my drivers with his vehicle went down the hill and he was brought up, killed. He was taken to the hospital and declared dead. I prayed to Baba that he should be alive. After 15 minutes or so, I got a call from the hospital. The driver was alive. And thereafter, of course, it was total surrender to Baba. Interestingly, I got the confirmation of this incident from a Sevadal volunteer after 11 years. He told me that in 75 itself, Baba had told them that one of the army officers requested that his driver should be brought to life, who had met with an accident in the hills, and Baba brought him to life once again.
In 1986, General Taylor received a promotion to the rank of Major General, and when he went for Sai Baba's blessings, he was called for a private interview.
I was promoted to the rank of Major General in 1986. I went to Swami for his blessings, and he called me in for interview. He put on my ranks here, and he blessed me. He talked about something else, and towards the end of the interview, he told me that you are going to get a very big responsibility. And he said that he'll be always with me, and I should not worry about at that time. The time passed, and whenever I used to get a very big military responsibility, I used to think perhaps this may be the responsibility that Swami was talking about. But later, of course, it was revealed that it was a different type of responsibility, and that is a spiritual responsibility rather than anything else.
In 1989, General Taylor had a dream in which Sai Baba took him to a hillside temple in the Himalayas and showed him a footpath and hill and said, "You go there."
Sometime in the middle of 89, I had a dream in which I was standing over here and Baba was standing next to me, just next to this temple over here. He pointed out a footpath going along that way, and also that hill over there. And he said, "You go there." Next morning when I got up, I told my wife about this dream. I told her that perhaps Baba wants me to do tapasya in the hills, and forgot about this dream. Later on, after some time, by chance, my formation commander told me that there is a good place, religious place around here, a cave. You might like to go and have a look at it. So therefore, I with my wife, again we came here. When we came, I told my wife, I remembered my dream and said that this is the place exactly where we were standing, myself and Baba, and this was the footpath that was indicated to me by Baba, and the hill over there. And then, of course, we went inside. We had not gone to Patal Bhuvaneshwar as yet. This was just a dream. Of course, I had not realized at that time what was the purpose of this dream and why Baba wanted me to go there.
Major General Taylor has rediscovered this in 1989. At that time, this was a very obscure cave complex. He has, with the help of his army personnel, has cleaned up the cave complex, installed a generator which could supply sufficient electricity to illuminate major important points within the cave complex without damaging any of the natural settings there. Then he has built a small guest house to accommodate the visiting devotees. Then he has, with the help of the state government, laid up a fairly good motorable road very close to the complex, and then a path about 500 meters he has done pure concreting. So access by car and then by foot is made very possible, and an overnight stay in the guest house is also provided, and this has led to the visit of large number of devotees from India and outside India.
18 generations of a local family of pujaris have taken care of the village temples and Patal Bhuvaneshwar. However, not many people have visited the cave because local superstitions held that once one entered the cave, they would not come out.
Vande Pasunam Patim, Vande Surya Sashankavas.
There are a surprisingly large number of representations of religious scenes found in Patal Bhuvaneshwar.
They are not the rock formations, but the deities, actual deities becoming stone. Now, when you worship this, or at the time of puja, sometimes if you are given divine eyes, you can see them actually alive, and therefore they are there every time, and with proper vision you can see them.
In Patal Bhuvaneshwar, after climbing into the cave, the first form encountered is that of the Sheshnag, or cobra, who is protecting this abode of Shiva.
Yes, this is Sheshnag's hood. There are seven hoods.
Two nights prior to my arrival here, as I slept off on my bed in one of the places in these Himalayas only, I felt strong vibrations passing through my complete body, and the epicenter of that vibration, if we may say so, lay at the base of my spine, and it was moving up with great intensity. I felt as if an earthquake has come. Well, I cannot say that this is what I felt at the time of the experience, but this is all what I recollect. And soon, with these vibrations, I felt a stream of very bright light with the effulgence of sun, rising up my spine and coming out of the apex of my head and expanding over my own head in the form of a multi-headed serpent. I haven't really read much into the scriptures, nor did I have any belief in anything called the Sheshnag or anything. I thought they were all creatures of the myth. Later on, when I landed up here, I found that very form of light which had come out of my spine and expanded its hood over my head in the form of a petrified stone here, the Sheshnag. And that is what was explained to me, that this is the Sheshnag. And I felt that yes, it is just not a mere coincidence, it has some relevance. It can't be a hearsay as well, because I truly experienced it, I lived through it, and in the morning I really did ask my neighbors if there was an earthquake on. And I had been getting those feelings of vibration in the body for a long time. But that day I could really feel that light coming out, expanding on the top of my head in the form of a luminous, multi-headed snake.
Another scene found in the cave comes from the story where Shiva cuts off Ganesha's head during a fight. To keep Ganesha's body alive during the search for a new head, a lotus flower dripped life-sustaining nectar into his body. In Patal Bhuvaneshwar, the lotus can be seen dripping water into the Ganesh lingam.
This is the Ashtadal Kamal, or the lotus with which the headless body of Lord Ganesha was maintained. This is the idol of Lord Ganesha called Snigdha Ganesh. Now here we see the lotus feet of the Lord. These are his legs, these are the knees. He's sitting in a crouched position. The trunk is here, and this is the Lord when his head was chopped off by Lord Shiva, and at a later stage the head of an elephant was put in this place. This is the neck, and this is the complete Lord Ganesha.
Some people have actually had a vision of Ganesh while in the cave. The most impressive scene in the cave involves Lord Shiva and the Ganges River. The story has Bhagirath asking Mother Ganga to come to earth from heaven. Because the force of the Ganga water would be too great for earth, Shiva agreed to receive it in his matted hair and then allow it to pass onto a Shiva lingam where most of it would be absorbed. The remaining trickle of water would then become the start of the Ganges river on earth. In Patal Bhuvaneshwar, water flows from the top of Shiva's head through his matted hair. The water then drips onto a Shiva lingam. This particular lingam actually absorbs water, allowing only a smaller portion to trickle off. Beyond the Shiva formation is the most important place of spiritual energy in the cave. It is the Patal Bhuvaneshwar Shiva Lingam. This very rare lingam has 3 different kinds of stones which depict the trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. 800 years ago, Adi Shankar, one of the great religious leaders in India, placed a copper plate around this lingam to help preserve it. In this cave, 3 different abhisheks, or trickles of water, flow naturally for each of the 3 stones. Pujas done here are very powerful.
Gangodakam nirmalam cha sarvasaugandhya sanyutam padaprakshalanarthaya dattam me pratigrayatam Shri Samba Shivaya Namaha Padayo Padyam Samarpayami Argham Gandha Pushpakshatairyuktam Argham Sampaditam Maya Grahana Bhagavan Shambho Prasanno Varado Bhava Shri Samba Shivaya Namastayor Argham Samarpayami Achman Om Karpurena Sugandhena Vasidam Swadusitalam Toyam Achmani Artham Grahana Parameshwara Om Ishana Sarva Vidhanani Ishwara Sarva Bhutanam Brahmadipati Brahmanodipati Brahma Shivo Me Astu Sada Shivom Om Swastina Indro Vratashravaha Swastina Puja Vishwavedaha Swastina Staraksho Arishto Nevi Swastino Brahaspatir Dadatu.
We all came and the puja was about to start. Guruji gave us all a flower each. We all sat by the side of the Shivalinga and waited for the puja to start. I had gone into a meditation state. Guruji had just arrived but hadn't started the puja. In meditation, I was sitting, but didn't know what was happening. I had closed my eyes, but could hear the mantras very loudly. I was reciting them correctly. As I was reciting the mantras, I was able to see Shiva and Parvati arriving in miniature form before me. Very beautiful was Shiva. I cannot explain their beauty. They were very, very beautiful. I didn't know what the Guruji was doing. I kept looking at only Shiva's beauty. What a beauty in such a miniature form. Shiva was sitting on a deerskin. He had Rudraksha mala around his head and hair, and around his arms too. He had 3 or 4 Rudraksha malas around his neck too. He had the drums and the trident, everything, all in miniature form. And Parvati was fully pretty. She was having a red dot on the forehead, 3 or 4 necklaces around her neck, beautiful sari with red and gold border, jewels, and bracelets around her arms. She was very, very beautiful. Her beauty was beyond description for me. As I was watching, mantras became louder and louder. It seemed like it was coming from elsewhere. The puja was coming to an end. Even though Guruji called me 2 or 3 times, I didn't know. As I was watching, Shiva and Parvati blessed everyone present. They blessed everyone with their hands. When they blessed all of us, I prostrated before them and offered my prayers at their feet. Guruji had concluded the puja. Even after the puja was finished, I was still looking at Shiva and Parvati. They were still there for nearly 1 hour. Another half hour too. For nearly 1.5 hours. After that, after everything was over, Bhagwan Shiva and Parvati left.
Not everyone has profound experiences in the cave. In fact, General Taylor did not have much happen in his first 10 trips to Patal Bhuvaneshwar.
I did not have any divine vision till 11th or 12th visit. I kept on going there because I felt a lot of spiritual energy in there. And to develop my spiritual ability is also to improve that place so that others can benefit of this place. I kept on going off and on.
As General Taylor continued to visit and improve the cave area, he began having dreams and visions in which Sai Baba taught him about the cave.
So I've had a number of dreams on Patal Bhuvaneshwar. Baba has told me quite a few things about Patal Bhuvaneshwar. In one of the dreams, Baba told me that many gods and goddesses are living in the cave, and they do puja to Shiva on their appointed days regularly. In another dream, he told me that Patal Bhuvaneshwar is heaven, nothing but heaven. He also said that all these leelas which are happening in Patal Bhuvaneshwar were being done by himself. He further said that a lot more people will be coming to this Patal Bhuvaneshwar in future and doing puja to Shiva. In fact, he said that you won't have place even to go in and stand in that area.